The following program, The Russ Belville Show, is intended for responsible adults only. We advocate to the repeal of marijuana prohibition for adults. We discuss the science, culture, and controversy about America's marijuana laws. We do not advocate any illegal activity and encourage all listeners to learn their state and federal marijuana laws. Opinions and claims made by guests and advertisers on The Russ Belville Show are their own, and The Russ Belville Show cannot be held legally responsible for their validity or reliability. Viewer discretion is advised.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth. Hey!
Spanning the continent to bring you the truth about cannabis and marijuana law reform.
I smoke pot and I like it a lot.
From the promise of legalization.
And I think that we need to rethink and decriminalize our marijuana laws.
To the agony of prohibition.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
The Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Yeah, I hear you had a question for me.
Now, here's your host, Radical Russ Belville.
Oh, yeah. Good day, tokers and tokettes, and welcome. It is Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013, and it's got to be 420 somewhere in the world. In fact, it still feels like 420 in my head. I have got such a massive cold. This will happen to you when you're in Denver, Colorado, and it's sunny and 60 for the Cannabis Cup. And then the next day, it's like 25 and 6 inches of snow. What's up with that, Denver? Come on, man. Hey, we've got great recap show today of all the stuff that went down in the Cannabis Cup. Since I'm sick, I'm basically your teacher, wheeling in the old cart with the TV and the VCR to show some videos because I don't have very much left after this cup. It was amazing. All sorts of great things, of course. For those of you who are used to 420, get used to 710, because it's all about 710 these days, and we've got all sorts of video there from the Cannabis Cup to show you how dab culture is pretty much taken over in Denver, Colorado. Also, we got our stickers in on Monday, unfortunately, but we have Russ Belville Show stickers and 420radio.org stickers. We'll be sending these out to our VIPs all this week, so stay ready for that. On today's show, we have got some video from the 420 shooting at the Civic Center Park in Denver. We were nowhere near that. I had thanked you to everybody that emailed and tweeted and everything asking if we were okay. We were nowhere near that. That was down at the park. That was the outdoor 420 rally. But we got some video footage from that from 3 different angles we're going to show you today in the 420 Radio News. In our Behind the Headlines, we're going to take a look at some of my pictures from the 420 celebration there for the Cannabis Cup. And we'll talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend and the fun that we had, and all of you out there in the chat room who were there with me having that fun. When we get to half past, I'm going to show you on Monday, I took a tour of an industrial warehouse-sized commercial marijuana grow in Denver, Colorado, 3,353 plants. Every single one of them barcoded and tagged. We'll take a look at that, about a 12-minute video at half past the hour. And then for the Radical Rant time period, I'm just going to start the High Times Cannabis Cup social media panel. I was on this panel along with Bianca Barnhill from Living the High Life blog and High Times, with Lenny from Hail Mary Jane, Coral Reefer from Stony Sundays, and Paul Token from Token Daily, discussing the internet, new media, social media, all that kind of stuff. It's about an hour and 10 minutes, so we'll start it at the Radical Rant. We'll just run it through Toker Talk Radio. And then at the end of Toker Talk Radio, I got some other video, a 2.5-pound joint in Santa Cruz, and other stuff to talk about with you guys. You can call in at 971-533-7111. We'll take a break. We'll be right back with the news. Stay tuned.
The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com. Hi, this is Dan Michaels. If you're looking for professional voice talent for your commercial or podcast, I'm your man. Visit danmichaelsaudio.com for more information.
time for your 420 radio news for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Witness to 420 shooting describes being up close when it happened. From CBSDenver.com. A man police were searching for as a person of interest in the shooting that happened at 420 at the Denver Civic Center Park. And we have some video for that we're going to show you right now. Let's see. A man police were searching for at the park as a person of interest in the shooting of 3 people during the 420 marijuana celebration has talked to police and was not arrested. The non-fatal shooting disrupted what had been a peaceful gathering. Thousands ran for their lives after shots rang out, and some people were trampled and suffered injuries. The video shows people scattering from near where the shots were fired. Sonny Jackson, a Denver police spokesman, said, quote, "We believe it's probably one shooter, but there's 2 individuals that might have information or were involved." The video shows people scattering. The Denver police are still looking for a black man who was wearing a gray hoodie, black slacks, and a blue Carolina baseball hat. He was he was described as being 6 foot tall and about 180 pounds. A band was on stage, but the music suddenly stopped when gunfire rang out and the show was over. Symes Carter was among those performing. "I'm rapping and I hear pop, 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 and I look to the right of me and I just see people tumbling down the hills, running. I mean, thousands of people running," Carter said. Authorities so far haven't said what the circumstances were that might have led to the shooting. It happened in an area of the park where people were attending a loud rap concert. A man and a woman each suffered gunshot wounds, and a third person was grazed by a bullet. The Supreme Court has made a ruling on marijuana and deportation from the New York Times. The social sharing of a small amount of marijuana by immigrants lawfully in the United States does not require their automatic deportation, the Supreme Court ruled on Tuesday. Quote, "Sharing a small amount of marijuana for no remuneration, let alone possession with intent to do so, does not fit easily into the everyday understanding of trafficking, which ordinarily means some sort of commercial dealing," end quote, Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote for the 7-justice majority, partly quoting from an earlier case. The case arose from a traffic stop in Georgia in 2007, during which Adrian Moncrief, a Jamaican citizen, was found with 1.3 grams of marijuana, the equivalent, Justice Sotomayor wrote, of about 2 or 3 marijuana cigarettes. Democrats call for federal commission on marijuana from thehill.com. Representative Steve Cohen, Democrat of Tennessee, on Thursday introduced a bill to create a national commission on federal marijuana policy, which would examine the conflicts created by state laws that allow marijuana use and the federal prohibition on marijuana. The new commission would study how federal laws should be reconciled with state laws, the cost of federal prohibition on marijuana, and how the federal government should place marijuana in the Schedule of Controlled Substances Act. It would also examine the health impacts of marijuana and racial disparities and other consequences related to marijuana possession. Cohen noted that a National Commission on Marijuana Use was set up in 1971, and it released a report in 1973 that called for the decriminalization of the drug. In the 4 decades since the Schaefer Commission, however, the federal government has only expanded its war on drugs and continued to prohibit the use of marijuana, a statement from Cohen's office said. Horizon Air trying to fire pilot who used marijuana, from OregonLive.com. Horizon Air wants a judge to stop a pilot who was fired from using marijuana from returning to the cockpit, a news website said. The Seattle-based airline fired pilot Brian Milam after he failed a random drug test in November of 2011, and he acknowledged smoking to cope with back pain and other issues, the Seattle Post-Intelligencer reported on Monday. The firing was challenged by the Airline Professionals Association, and an arbiter ruled in the union's favor, saying Horizon failed to fully review Milam's record before firing him. Horizon filed a lawsuit last week in federal court asking the judge to throw out the arbiter's ruling. Mark Hutchison, an attorney representing Horizon, said, quote, "Horizon is not willing to place an impaired pilot back in the cockpit. Doing so would violate federal law and contravene a well-settled public policy prohibiting a pilot from flying while using drugs," end quote. The drug test was conducted to meet federal requirements designed to ensure pilots are not abusing alcohol or using drugs illegally. Malam acknowledged the drug test was properly administered and that he had been smoking marijuana, but never on duty or the night before an early shift. And that's your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at my view of the first U.S. Cannabis Cup in America, Denver, Colorado, 420 weekend. We've got some slideshow pictures and just some reminiscing. Stick around, we'll be right back.
On an all-new intervention.
Mark, welcome home. Please come, join us.
Mark hasn't smoked weed in about 10 days, and I'm worried about him. I can't watch him destroy himself.
I'm fine, okay? This is none of your business.
Shh. Come, Mark. We're only here because we care.
I'm in control. That's what they don't get, is that I can start smoking weed anytime that I want to. I just don't feel like it right now.
At first he was, just skipping a day here and there. But then it got more and more consistent, and then he just wasn't smoking any weed at all.
Mark, we haven't smoked a joint together in like 3 weeks, man. I don't know who you are anymore. Your short-term memory is incredible. I just can't sit back and watch someone destroy their own lives with horrible decisions.
See you guys. Stupid, I'm getting out of here.
Hey.
Don't touch me!
It hurts me a lot, What do you do for someone that you care about that is ruining their own life? What do you do?
He's not showing any signs of starting.
Intervention on A&E.
Cannabinoids and health.
Cannabinoids.
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 Why am I having trouble saying that?
Cannabinoids.
Jeez.
Cannabinoids.
What a gift.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for us to go behind the headlines. It's 15 after. And, of course, this 420 weekend, we were in Denver, Colorado for the big first historic U.S. Cannabis Cup, the first post-legalization cup in America at the Expo Center. So many of our friends were there. Grey Wolf, Georgia Mom for Marijuana, Bago Schwago, Big Daddy Fink, Joshy Dude and wife, Free the Weed, Cubed, Carly, Cliff, all the Texans were there, Ganja John, Tie Stick was there. I'm sure I'm going to lose track of somebody along the line, but thank you to everyone who helped and who volunteered and tried to, ease my load a little bit, especially Bago Schwago out there. My God, he was a workhorse. Great job. Grey Wolf printed up a bunch of stickers that brought out there on his own dime, and they went quick. They went all in the first day. So we know a lot of people going to have some new viewers out here checking out 420 Radio. Everybody, it was just so much fun out there. And I just wanted to show you some of the pictures from the event that you kind of see where our event was. We had the 420 Radio booth, and it was at first trying to set up there was very difficult. They didn't know exactly where we were going to be. And like my first hour there was spent just trying to figure out where they're going to put us. We lucked out though. It got placed in a location that was kind of a traffic pinch point and everybody had to come by there. So it worked out really, really well for us. The Expo event was huge. I don't even think I saw all of it, to tell you the truth, the whole day. You went outside. And I was in the inside of the Expo Center where all the nonprofits were. But when you went outside, you had to follow directly across outside was kind of a place where you could eat and get food. And then you had to walk down kind of an alleyway to get to where either the medical area was or the recreational area. Now, the difference between the two, in the medical area, you had the vendors from the dispensaries there who could, display weed and everything. But back in the recreational area, basically that's just more vendors as well, but glass and things like that. But as you can see from these pictures, while there were some flowers to be had, it was a whole lot of dabbing going on there at this Cannabis Cup. And I like someone in our chat room before the show was saying, is Big Daddy Fink was saying, somebody's going around going, Tane, need some butane. Who's got Tane? Everybody was dabbing. In fact, there's one of the shots that comes up in here will show you a sign from the High Time staff they put up, dabbing, concentrates are very powerful. You need to sit down, make sure you're drinking enough water. But you're seeing all the folks out here out in the sunshine, the girls in the bikinis and the short shorts. It was that warm. It was like 60, 65 degrees and sunny. On Monday, it's 25 degrees, 6 inches of snow. I'm getting my flights canceled. I mean, it was a hellacious time. You can see some of the products as well. Bang Chocolate was there. But really, I think for people that were from out of state coming here, the whole oils and hash part had to have blown their minds. I mean, I think they might have been ready to see what was going on with the flowers, but when they saw all those oils and the hash going on, I think that was something. And you see some of the t-shirts, dab t-shirt and that kind of stuff going on. So it's really become, in the legal states, quite the phenomenon. I like this guy with his own walking dab table is what he was. But you can see how packed it was. There were so many people there. At sometimes, free the weed. At some points, you couldn't even get past people. You were so together. There's Diane Fornbacher and Sharon Ravert, and I forget that lady's name on the right. Danny Danko with Bago Schwago. We had so much fun. Everybody just was really good people. Lots of fun to be had there in Colorado. Colorado treated us very, very well. I can't tell you how much fun we had. And, this lady was putting oil stickers on people's heads as they walk by from over the fence. She tapping. There's JDR, Tim Martin from iCannabis Radio and John Doe Radio Show. It was, let's see, we also had tons of music. Everywhere you went, there was DJs, there was loud music playing, and there was still plenty of flower. You can see there's some Orange Crush in the foreground. They even had a skee ball set up. You can play some skee ball out there. What fun you can have. The Cash Hyde Foundation and American Drug War 2 is coming out, so make sure you check that out. Lots of fine glass vendors going on there. This guy had his own custom-made piece. Very, very nice looking. I've got all these photos up at my Radical Russ Google page, Google Plus, Radical Russ. I'm not sure how that works, but you can go look. I think if you go to photos.radicalruss.com, you can get the high-resolution versions of these photos. Do with them what you will. Enjoy the scene, but you can just tons and tons of people. More fun than you could possibly imagine. They crowned the new Miss High Times there, and she was very adorable, actually. She's a very cute lady. And let's see what else they had. Of course, all the award ceremonies. I can't even tell you who won everything. I know Selecta Nicotine won a couple of cups, so I know that was part of it with the concentrates. We got the pot t-shirts, and this is a view from behind or in front of our 420 radio booth. I had a big 42-inch screen TV displaying stuff. I mean, it was a really, really good show. But we have rules here at 420 Radio, and it is 20 after. Brian the Red has stepped in.
And you know what's mandatory.
And I got the 4-barrel loaded up, so we're ready to go. I'll let these pictures run while we're on break.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
Hey everybody, welcome. It's Danny Danko from High Times Magazine, and I'm here with Mr. Kyle Cushman, and we're talking about integrated pest management. Now Kyle, I see you're using these yellow sticky traps. What's the purpose of those?
It is just a good part of routine IPM, integrated pest management, along with neem oil, regular spraying of neem oil every second or third day. And it's just good to keep down, to prevent an infestation before it happens. Okay. So it's kind of like that canary in the coal mine thing where it'll let you know ahead of time, by seeing how many bugs there if you need to employ something stronger, if you're going to need to use biological controls or some chemical insecticides.
Wow, cool. And also, I'd like people to know the reason these sticky traps are yellow is that the bugs are attracted to that color. It's the color of a dying leaf, which makes a welcome home for them. So always remove any yellowing leaves so as not to create a home for pests.
Yes, yellow or mottled leaves, go away.
All right, well, thank you very much, Kyle, and this has been a lesson in integrated pest management.
Funky roller ring.
Oh, yeah.
What's happening, Groovy Cats? This is your Funk Master of Ceremonies, Big Daddy. And I want you to join me every Thursday night at 11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, right here at the Funky Roller Ring.
Oh, yeah.
Your home of soul, funk, and disco, baby.
Funky-licious.
There's always a party at the Funky Roller Ring.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Electric Tuesday, featuring the latest in electronic dance music and other cutting-edge genres. You can get downloads and more information about all our Daily Toker Tunes by visiting music.radicalruss.com. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tune.
Welcome back, everybody. Time for Electric Tuesday, and we got a tune, Bacon Crispy PDX, sent up to us that we're going to play for you on our Electric Dance Music Tuesday. I was just sitting here talking with Brian and Red. I guess you guys had a 420 weekend here in Portland while we were out partying?
Yeah, there were several things that were going on, but I was able to go with Bacon Dan to a local place, and we had a good old time. You know, it was his first medical event, medical experience at all, because he had just gotten his paperwork through.
Right. He's a brand new patient.
Yep, and so it was like a whole new world times 420.
Exactly. So if you're out there listening to Bacon Dan, glad you had a good time, and take my advice. Pace yourself, man. Pace yourself. This is real professional grade stuff, so pace yourself. Bacon Dan also sent me out, and he said, if you see anything bacon, grab it for me out there. And I found something bacon. Actually, my friends in Denver had this sitting in their little junk drawer forever and ever and ever. So when I see him, I'll give him his special bacon souvenir
from the cup.
There you go. So in the meantime, we'll play a little music here that he brought us from DJ Yeo. This is called Eurodancer.
You still don't get it, do you? Alright, let me make this as clear as I possibly can. This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
There is a peaceful solution called a peace revolution. And now let's take back America.
Hi, this is Willie Nelson. Like millions of freedom-loving Americans, I'm a marijuana smoker, and I don't think that should be any of the government's business. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the responsible use of marijuana. The next time you light up, take the time to let your elected officials know how you feel. It's time we legalize marijuana and stop treating marijuana smokers like criminals. For more information on how you can help legalize marijuana, please contact NORML at norml.org.
The cannabis community includes a diverse set of activists and nonprofits working to end the prohibition of marijuana. We take the time to hear the stories of reform on the Russ Belville Show's Cannabis Community Chat.
Welcome back, everybody. And I got to stay an extra amount of time in Denver after the Cup. On Monday, my flight was supposed to go out at 9 at night. Turns out it went out today at 8 in the morning, but that's a whole other story. But it gave me the opportunity to visit an industrial-sized warehouse grow in Denver, Colorado, that is supplying the medical marijuana industry there. And as you know, the dispensaries have to grow 70% or more of what they sell. So what this place is doing is growing for its various outlets of its dispensaries. And I understand on 4/20, the Saturday of 4/20, they grossed $30,000 in sales for that day. So that sounds to me like a growth sector of the economy that we should take a look at. So here it is, a look at a Denver industrial grow. Enjoy.
Russ here, and you are not seeing this. This is just a day after the Cannabis Club closed, and it's snowing in Denver, Colorado. We have got a little tour to show you, so stay tuned. This is going to be nice. We're going to see an industrial grow here in Denver. We're in a huge, huge warehouse here in Denver, and all sorts of stuff being stored here, but mostly industrial rack type of stuff. You can kind of see shelves, you know, and racks and lockers and that kind of stuff going on here. But since we are in Colorado, and we've got the medical marijuana that's been here for over a decade, and they've got a very strong medical marijuana enforcement division, and it's become an economy. And now, of course, the state has legalized marijuana. It's just going to be even a bigger economy, and we're going to take a look at that growing economy. So stick with us here. You know who I am? It's the wanted poster, right? Oh, yeah. So how many people are employed by running this thing?
Our garden staff alone, trimmers included, is 15 people.
15 people. 15 jobs, folks, that we're getting off of this so far. Wow. It's beautiful. All right, folks, so this is the before shot of what will be massive amounts of lights and plants and grow going on here. How much you putting in here?
About 300 hoods.
300 hoods, folks. All legal, all perfectly okay. It's a beautiful world we live in. We'll come back and see what this looks like once it's all fully developed.
We do all our cuttings and cloning machines. Need to be transplanted. We ran out of cocoa earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can see, nice healthy roots.
Yeah.
Ready to get in the ground.
Give this girl some soil.
Yep.
All coded for, let's see, got ATFs down there. I'm sure they're all documented for something. MB. Gotta have a lot of soil. All right. This would be another veg or flowers. Flowers, people, flowers. Oh, yeah. This is it, folks, the growing economy. Mind. Snapping up as many as you like. It's digital. It's cheap. Holy crap! Ladies and gentlemen, I've made it to Shangri-La. They're going to have to kick me out. It's a beautiful place to be, Colorado, 2013. Row upon row upon row upon row of beautiful bushy buds. Folks, it doesn't get any better than this. All right. Set me up a cot here. I'm ready to crash. Radical Russ, High Times Magazine, 420radio.org. Great 420 weekend. If only it wasn't snowing. So, I'm not going to get these guys on camera because I don't know if they're interested in being famous or anything, but this is your job, huh? And compared to other jobs you've had, not so bad?
Not so bad. At all.
Very, very nice. What do we? Is this all the same flower? What are we harvesting here?
This is like 8 different strains.
8 different strains. Yeah. Are you guys just trimming off any of these ready to go yet, or just trimming at this point?
No, these are on week, I don't know, 5 maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, they're looking good. All very pretty. All right, folks. Well, this is Radical Russ, 420 Radio. Unfortunately, we have to go. We can't stay here all day, folks. Although we really want to. Bye. Hey, Radical Russ here with the trimmers. Trim work going on here. Let's show you some of the fine buds being processed by some people are probably very happy to have this job, right? Oh, yeah. It's not the worst gig in the world to have, I'll tell you. What are you trimming? Do you know? Is this one particular Death Star that you're trimming right now? Beautiful stuff, man. Hand shots there. Very good. Just getting hands. You guys are so fast I can't get a still. It's all blurry, man. It's great. Thank you, guys. Now, when you grow these fine plants, you got to feed them something, and here's what they're feeding right here. You want to be on cam? You mind? Sure. Okay, that's cool. So tell us your name and what we're talking about.
Hi, I'm Spencer. Right now we're going to be talking about New Millennium Nutrients. It's a company based out of Colorado, and the only distributor in Colorado is going to be New Millennium. I fucked this up.
That's all right.
Chlorophyll is the only place to get this nutrient line. It's specifically designed for cannabis growth. And it's probably the highest technological nutrient line on the market.
What's going to make it different, manufacturing specifically for cannabis versus any old other nutrient I'd get?
You get an increased terpene value. You have more resin production than any other nutrient line out there. This isn't made for cut flowers like we would like to think cut flowers. Our cut flowers are a little different.
Is there a website or any way people can contact if they want to know more about this?
Chlorophyllonline.com.
All right, chlorophyllonline.com. Yep. Thanks so much.
You bet.
Last weekend. Oh, yeah. Georgia, Iowa, Kansas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas. In case you can't tell from all the different rooms we're walking in, these are all different rooms that we're walking in that have flowers or veg going on. Here's another one with, well, I like to call it marijuana. You can call it ganja. 16 different buds or veg going on?
16 different flower rooms.
16, oh, just flower rooms. Oh, pardon me, I didn't mean to insult. Because there's more places that we could possibly grow weed. We're now going upstairs. Oh, it's like a dormitory up here.
We've got some more veg going.
And CO2 being pumped into all these. I see tanks everywhere.
Yep.
I'm going.
We do have a freight elevator.
Freight elevator would definitely help.
This is our CO2 control system for our original rooms. So we control what it's doing. We can set the ppms that we want it at. All that good stuff.
Wow. So all... You could pump some oxygen in here for us flatlanders.
More veg space.
Now, looks like indicas in here. Bigger, broader leaves. Hybrids.
Mostly hybrids.
Okay. Yeah.
You're not going to find too many things that aren't pure sativa. You're only going to find a few things that are pure Afghan. So
yeah,
you're always going to find a hybrid flavor that people are searching for. Those tend to have the most dynamic and unique flavors as well.
Excellent.
Here's another little flower room. We're doing another 2 green nets.
Oh, yes, we are.
And this room is grown specifically for extracting. We do CO2 oil with all of this.
Okay, so not just growing for flowers, but also growing for the massive amount of demand for oils now and concentrates. You have to do anything different for that? I mean, do you have any different guidelines when you're trying to make it for concentrates?
Well, with the state, it has to be in a room in our facility that's labeled as the MIPS room with the state.
Oh.
So it's licensed as the marijuana use products room.
As far as growing,
yeah, okay. As far as growing, no. It's just paperwork and regulations. Okay.
Yeah.
And speaking of that, I mean, how much of this is inspected and dictated and ruled by your regulations here?
The building department looks at everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, about 95% of what goes on in here is inspected by the state.
Wow. All right.
Medical Marijuana Enforcement Division can scan, and it'll bring up which patient it technically belongs to.
Wow.
What's our plant count right now, Steve? About 33,350 something. We're maxed out.
3,350 plants, each one barcode with a tag here. Seed to sale, folks.
Everything but the cloners, but yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty impressive.
Packers fan?
Yeah.
Well, hey, we're going to do all right. We're going to do all right. Excellent.
From the racks, we cure it in these turkey bags. And we save all the trim and everything to also be, extracted. We just separate it by indicator sativa pretty much. And as far as the hybrid goes, we just take, whatever's dominant.
Well, there you go. That's some of the video from my tour of an industrial warehouse grow, and it just looks like freedom. It looks like economy and jobs, and I can't see anything wrong with it, other than the fact that where I was standing is worth about, 10, 20 years in a federal penitentiary. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, does it? Contact your legislator. Let them know this is what we want in our state. We want to make some money. We want to create some jobs. Let's make it happen together. Gonna take a break. When we come back, the social media panel with me and Coral Reefer and Paul Token and Bianca Barnhill and Lenny from Hail Mary Jane. Listening to the Russ Belville Show, and I got a cold. Be right back.
You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show. the voice of the marijuana nation.
Tokers, there's no good reason to get your dog stoned. While it might not harm them physically, imagine being a dog who already begs for treats all day, and then imagine that dog having the munchies. Not cool.
I have to say that there was one question that was voted on that ranked fairly high, and that was whether legalizing marijuana would improve the economy and job creation. I don't know what this says about the online audience, but the answer is no. I don't think that is a good strategy to grow our economy. So.
About nearly 1 million lives wrecked by a marijuana arrest every year, Mr. President. Politely tell President Obama what you think about legalization by calling the White House at 202-456-1111.
You want answers? I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. You want answers?
You have offended my family.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth.
And you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
You can't handle the truth.
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Radical rant. Somebody in the chat room was saying I seemed a whole lot happier. Well, hell yeah, I'm happy. I just got back from Denver, Colorado, where weed is legal. Not only is it legal, it's commercial. It's amazing what's going on there in Denver. I was a part of the High Times first U.S. Cannabis Cup, although it was kind of funny because a lot of the people with High Times kept saying Medical Cannabis Cup because they got so used to saying medical, and we had to keep correcting them. U.S. Cannabis Cup, and it was just a wonderful event. Big thanks go out to High Times Magazine for having me out there in the nonprofit area. They are so generous to us here at 420 Radio, and I can't tell you everything that's happening, but big developments coming around the pipe. There's going to be some good stuff coming. That's part of why I'm happy, too. Anyway, so I wanted to present to you because I was so proud to be selected to be a part of a panel at the first U.S. Cannabis Cup. Jen Bernstein, who runs High Times, she's a managing editor at High Times, and she runs the Jen's Music Stash podcast, had a panel on social media and how that works and how the cannabis community is taking great advantage of that. And we're really kicking the drug warriors' ass when it comes to internet and social media. And so on the panel was Lenny from Hail Mary Jane, the blog, excellent site. We have Bianca Barnhill from High Times Magazine, and she writes the blog Living the High Life. And then myself and Paul Token from Token Daily, phenomenal YouTube channel. He gets 1 million hits. And another, speaking of million hits, Coral Reefer from our own Stony Sundays and the News Nug. She was on the panel as well, and we were discussing Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and all the things that we're doing with our activism. We're going to play the entire panel. It's going to run long. It's going to go past this first hour and into hour 2. For those of you listening on the podcast who'd like to hear the entire panel, you can become a VIP member of 420radio.org for as low as $4.20 a month, and that gets you access to our hour 2 podcast. I'll also have this uploaded to YouTube as well for our VIP members. You'll be able to get this through a link in our VIP forum. So let's go to it. We'll play the entire panel because, if you can tell, Denver wiped me out as well. We'll open up here, High Times Social Media Panel, Exto Center, Denver, Colorado, at the U.S. Cannabis Cup. Enjoy.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 2 of the Cannabis Cup in Denver. Thank you. You're all here. You all made it. Fantastic. Good job, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for abiding for the long lines. We're scanning everybody in, but in light of what happened yesterday, you can see why everybody's got to have their back checked. So we're talking about what if you're not aware of what happened in Denver at City Hall Park. Somebody needs to do a few more dabs. That's what I say. Anyway, I know you guys are all alert and everything like that, so I got a stoner question for you. I got a little bit of math here. A stoner can make 1 joint out of every 6 roaches he has. That stoner has 36 roaches. How many joints can he make? 6. Wrong. Come on, folks. Think. I was going to give away the joint. It's 7. Once he smokes 6 joints, he's got 6 roaches left. Come on, get with it. God damn it. Jesus. Jeez, I thought you guys were sharp. I hope CNN or anybody isn't here. Very, very, very disturbing. We'll give this to the panel. Anyway, I suppose you all know about social media. You've heard about that. You've heard about the worldwide interweb. I've heard that you can even get, it on your cell phone. I don't know how to work this yet, but I hear you can actually get the interweb on it. So social media is huge. It's what's driven our movement forward, and we have a terrific panel here today about social media. And to moderate that panel is one of my good friends. She's the managing editor of High Times. She is also the hostess of the podcast, Jen's Music Stash. Everybody, the managing editor of High Times magazine, Jen Bernstein.
Good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to the first Cannabis Cup in the United States. Yeah. You guys did it. You made it. You're all here. Thank you so much for coming. Really excited. We have a great panel today. I am Jen Bernstein. I am the managing editor for High Times. And usually when we go to these things, we ask you to turn off your phone. Not today, people. Okay? We need everybody to turn on their phones and log on to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. And that's really where we all live. Google. So please, turn on your phones. Even this morning on CBS Sunday Morning, they were saying about how social media plays such an important part in our lives. Pretty much, where were you at 420? Where were you for the first Denver Cup? We were all here. We can tweet about it. It's the place we want to be. So, what we're doing today is we want you to join the conversation with us. And what we're going to do is we're going to have each of the panelists introduce themselves. And then we're going to invite you guys the floor to talk to everybody here. And what we want you to do is use hashtag HTSocial. And that's how we're going to follow along with the conversation. If you want to get me, Jen Bernstein, at High Times, it's JB Music Stash. And otherwise, let's get started. First up, we have Radical Russ Belville.
I had to tweet out the hashtag. Caught me by surprise. Hi, my name is Russ Belville, and I am the executive director and chief bottle washer and all of that for 420radio.org. It's a 24-hour cannabis community radio. It's like public radio for pot. We're member supported. We do pledge drives, just like PBS or your local NPR station, except our music is much better and the conversation's about marijuana. So I encourage you to check that out. I had the idea for doing this when I was working for Normal. I used to work for Normal from 2008 to 2012 doing their podcast. And the technology, when I started podcasting, if you wanted to do something live, you had to haul boxes and boxes of stuff in flight cases. It was prohibitively expensive. Now, if you visit my booth out there with 420 Radio, the entire mobile studio to stream live fits in a carry-on that you can get on an airplane. And that's why part of the social media panel is so exciting, is that, you know the old saying, Big Brother is watching you? Well, now, Little Brother is watching everything. And the videos that we get, I mean, you just saw what happened in Boston this week as far as trying to track down those bombers. People had cell phone cameras, and people had cell phone videos. We're uploading and checking Twitter and Facebook and all of that. So that's why I'm here, part of 420radio.org, and I'm sure we'll have more to talk about later.
Thank you, Russ. Next, we have Bianca Barnhill, Living the High Life.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? You enjoying your first U.S. Cannabis Cup? Well, I am an activist and a contributor to High Times Magazine. I sit on the board for ASA, Americans for Safe Access. I originally didn't intentionally start my blog, Living the High Life, for external people other than my family and friends, and it's led to getting a fan base, and I'm really proud of it. Just being able to normalize what the cannabis consumer and a medical patient looks like, acts like, and spreading the word and the message for the movement really gains me a lot of pride, and I'm happy to be here today.
Thank you, Bianca. Next, we have Lenny from Hail Mary Jane.
All right, I'm not as good as these guys. I actually wrote something up because if not, I would just sit up here and ramble. So I'm going to go into that. Hello, my name is Lenny Gator. I'm originally from Montclair, New Jersey, hometown of the first medical marijuana dispensary in the state. I did not grow up as a stoner. When I was in high school, I was one of the leaders of an anti-drug program similar to Dan. I didn't start smoking until I was 22, and I appreciate that I got the chance to see the other side of the marijuana argument so closely at a young age because it allowed me to see the other side of this battle very clearly. I originally started Hail Mary Jane in 2006. The tagline is, it was supposed to be a sports blog, and then I got high, and that is actually true. The site was originally sportfiends.com and was sports focused. The name and theme was changed a year later. I wanted to cover urban culture, sports, fashion, as well as music and events. Marijuana was originally not planned to be a focus, but the timing was perfect. At that time, blogs were starting to really become popular, but there were few marijuana culture blogs. Marijuana law reform and acceptance was also higher than it had ever been. Every time I would write a story related to marijuana culture, people were super receptive, so that slowly became the focus. HMJ has steadily grown and opened up many opportunities for me. HMJ now has around 10 team members, and we were invited to cover events in Los Angeles, the Bay Area, Denver, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Boston, Atlanta, New York, New Jersey, and Amsterdam in 2012. This year, we already have events booked through September. I have also worked with various clients as a social media consultant, including Complex Magazine, Village Voice, and Westward, to name a few. Social media was always an integral part of HMJ's marketing strategies. With a very low budget to begin with, I started out promoting HMJ on social news websites like Dave.com, Reddit, and StumbleUpon.com, which would drive traffic immediately. Eventually, we moved to working with Facebook and Twitter. These days, we're also using Pinterest, YouTube, and Instagram a lot more as well. Each network requires different strategy to build a loyal following, but it is always worth it. I've used social media to drive more than 13 million visitors to HMJ in 5 years and send tons of traffic and new product sales and millions in ad revenue to my clients that I've worked with this time. The power of social media is undeniable, but just like anything else, there are downsides. The time it takes to execute properly, the lowered level of privacy, and learning how to deal with controversy and criticism in a public setting have all been bumps in the road that I've had to learn how to deal with at one point or another. Despite this, my team has persevered, and through social, we've developed tons of new relationships with businesses, fans, followers, and fellow activists as well that you can't get by buying followers or assigning interns to do the social media work for you. There's not one business running today that cannot benefit from having a stronger online presence. And I hope that everyone here utilizes the time with these social media superstars that I'm on the panel with. I feel honored to be a part of such an intelligent, cutting-edge, and courageous group of individuals on this panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lenny. I love when people come prepared, right? No, we're all prepared here. People think that stoners are not productive individuals, but we really are. Up next, we have Paul Token.
Well, first off, thank you everybody for coming to Denver. I myself am a Denver native. I moved around a little bit in my life, but I came back when I had the chance. And I love it here. I love seeing everybody come out in full force to support the city, to support what we're doing here, to support the movement as a whole for the world. Because right now the world is watching us. That's something that I've learned with doing my show. I'm not sure exactly what to speak about. Everybody else is probably a lot more prepared than I am. That's why I come in this kind of preparation and I do as much pre-gaming as possible. Because I don't know, I'm not a social person at all. I'm at home when I am at home behind my own video camera. But now I'm in front of, I'm not even going to try to count them, but it's awesome seeing everybody out there doing their own thing, broadcasting perhaps to their own little audience. And that's great. It's awesome to hear the stories of people when they come up to me and when they talk to me about how I've inspired them to do anything, inspired them to follow their own personal dreams, because it's all it's ever been about for me, is about showing the world what my own personal world is. And that's just a guy getting stoned, having a good time, enjoying this herb, enjoying what it does, in allowing me to engage with people. So thank you. Thank you all for coming out today. Thank you all. If there's any Token Daily peoples out there that are in the audience, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there.
Thank you, Paul. Skipping ahead to Coral Reefer.
Prepared, I'd say. One so far. One of my favorite things about social media is that I can bring forward what I've experienced and what I've learned, and I can hear back from people all over the world their own experiences, their own truths, and it's actually brought forward a lot of misinformation. What I do is I run a question and answer show every Sunday. We call it Stony Sunday. I take questions that are cannabis related,